This is the best of Greene. Today's comparison is a humdinger. The 2014 Mr. Olympia version of this man does battle against the 2016 Arnold Classic. My. Talk about a judging nightmare. These two versions are identical. I do prefer the lighting of the Arnold Classic for sure. But I am smarter than that. I can see through that good lighting. These two versions are both very good. The conditioning is excellent. The shape, the proportions, the symmetry, just outstanding. No point will be delivered here in the front double bicep pose. The rear double bicep, however, I am leaning toward the 2016 Arnold Classic for sure. Not only is that V-taper a little bit more prominent, look at those lower lats, a little bit more filled out in my opinion, but those lags, look at the lag difference. I usually don't like to go and poke my little arrows down towards these regions, but have a look at that meat in there. I mean, it is not in the Mr. Olympia version. Definitely a better pose for the 2016. So the first version to take the lead in this little competition. Another very difficult choice to make here in the front lat spread. It seems from the front these two versions are identical. The lats seem to be a little bit more three-dimensional, perhaps bulging out a little bit better in the Arnold Classic version. But look at that waistline. It looks like the V-tapers maybe a little bit more prominent in the Mr. Olympia version. Both Greenes have superior lag development. The calves, actually, now that I look, they look a little bit larger in the Arnold Classic version. I guess I'll have to take a stronger look at those calves in the next back shot. Slightly inconclusive here in the front lat spread. Now let's have a look at the rear lat spreads. And yes, this time I direct my attention directly towards those calves, and they appear to be bigger and better in the Arnold Classic. Not only that, but as I gaze up to the rest of the physique, he is the superior version. That meat that I was pointing at in the rear double bi, it's even more prominent here. Take a look at that big hunk of meat. Wow. The traps, I will say, are pretty darn good in the Mr. Olympia version. Probably the best I've ever seen. And I've noticed one other thing. You notice his lats a little bit oblong. The symmetry's off a little bit in the Mr. Olympia version. Well, I've noticed this before. And when he does do that, his traps bulge. They pop out. And I think that's the key behind this. These oblong lat spreads. It's when he tries to display his traps a little bit better, I think it throws off the symmetry in the lats. So that's why I think he's stuck with the big bow to get as much width as he can in this pose. So, notch up another point for the Arnold Classic version. Aha! Here in the side chest pose and the Olympia version battles back. No doubt, in my opinion, who's winning this shot. From the arms to even the legs this time. Look at the separation from them quads and the hanging hamstrings. The glutes, maybe a toss-up. He is crouching down a little bit lower in the Olympia version. That's why I made him shorter. I have to take all those things into consideration to give you guys the best of the comparisons to make sure that the sizes are equal because, hey, it's bodybuilding. Sizes mean everything. No sense of comparing the two and getting the heights wrong. But anyway, not enough about that. The stomach, the midsection, is better in the Olympia version, and that's really the answer to this pose here. Sometimes he leaves that gut hanging out, and sometimes he's more conscious about it and sucks it in. Makes an awesome, very impressive side chest pose. He has that wow factor for sure. So this is a battle after all. And it might be a little bit unfair to deliver a point here. The angles are not the same. He is tilted thusly in the Olympia version, and it is just about perfect for the angle of this shot. Now, the camera, or the lighting rather, of the Arnold Classic, it makes for a really nice picture. But, come on, take a look at those triceps, do the comparison. They do look favorable for the Olympia version, but not only that. That stomach distension from the side here, once again. gets an advantage for the Olympia version. A slight point, not a whole big point though, because of the angles, they're not the exact same. It is hiding that rear head of that tricep for the Arnold Classic. But if any of two versions gets a point here, it would be the Olympia version. Of course, if politics were keeping the 2014 Mr. Olympia Kai Greene away from getting a point in that side tricep, I will not let that happen here in the most muscular. I think without a doubt he looks much better in the Olympia version. The lighting this time is more favorable for that version, but I don't know. I think besides that he looks bigger and better in the arm department. Wow, two very impressive versions for sure. So yeah, I'm going to knock off that point for the side tricep and hang on to this one for the most muscular. And it is a tie game. Now let's have a look at the ab and thigh. And yet again, this one began as a nightmare to judge. And it's finishing off the same way. I do not feel comfortable at all handing one or the other a victory based on this pose. The abs, the obliques, a little bit tighter, a little bit better in the Arnold Classic version, no doubt. But here in the Olympia version, that V-taper with those massive lats, they appear to be a little bit larger, at least in this pose. And the thighs, when I look at the thighs, a little bit more diced up in the Olympia version. Wow. I think I'm going to have to dig down deep and haul out a little bit of a video comparison. So here we go. And of course, every pose is not exact with the timing. Here's a front double bicep, and I'm getting the impression his abs are washed out in the Olympia version. Now these side chest, side tricep, he's hitting them so fast, it's really hard to tell. I can definitely make out that those abs are washed out completely. Now here's the back. Yes, he has much more of a wow factor in the Arnold Classic rather. I messed up on the placing here. I placed the Arnold Classic first. Most muscular. Close there. His arms do appear to be larger. But yes, that was a fast little comparison. Hard to really judge and gauge on that one. But at the end of the day, I am more impressed with that Arnold Classic of 2016 version of Kai Greene. And that is the version that will advance on in this tournament. And there we have it. We are down to the final four versions. The two semi-final matches are set. And of course, I post these two matches at the exact same time. So no waiting around, fiddling your thumbs, going, waiting for Mark's Max Muscles, second semi-final matchup, I light a cigarette, See, you're smoking cigarettes now, waiting around. You're not going to have to do that with Mark's Max Muscle. Revolutionary. Anyway, the 2009 Mr. Olympia version takes on that 2010 Grand Prix Australia. That's mass and conditioning versus just dry, ripped cutness. Is cutness a word? I don't know. It is now. And the second semifinal match, the 2011 Shiru Classic, takes on today's winner, the 2016 Arnold Classic. Wow. I get a little bit exhausted because I'm so excited about these two semifinal matches. You know what? I'm going to get to work on them right away. So perhaps tomorrow, look forward to these two matchups, or if not tomorrow, the next day. Either way, one to look forward to, and two to look forward to. Subscribe if you haven't already. Every single one makes a difference. Inches me forward to 1,000 subs. And I will explode with excitement when that date happens. Have a good day.